Solar power is an important step towards our self-sufficiency and preparedness goals.
In today's video, we will be showing you our solar setup, what it costs and what it runs.
I'm Dean.
I'm Kirsty.
And we are
Hartsable Homestead.
So join us on our solar adventure. Ooh.
As preppers, food security has always been our main focus.
But however, as times are unchanging and prices continue to rise, we decided that it was what?
Times are unchanging.
Is that what I said? No, that's the wrong word. As times are uncertain and the prices of things are rising, we decided to put our feelers out. So not only are we going towards food preparedness, but also ways of creating our own heat, our own energy, and ways of cooling ourselves, because the heat's forced us to learn some of them tricks. So yeah, so like now we grow the food, we've learned techniques of storing the food, how to prep food, but also ways of making energy. For example, kettle. We tried doing solar. It was far too expensive to run a kettle on solar with the amount of tea we go through. Obviously, you know, stereotypical Brits, good old cup of tea. So we found camping stove, cost-wise, is a lot better for cups of teas and stuff when we haven't got power. We've also got alternative ways of cooking. We've got like a fire pit thing out the back, and then obviously the little camping stove. So we're putting our fears out on ways we can be more prepared and alleviate costs in several different areas through what we've been doing, really, haven't we?
Yes, we're far from off grid, but if the power went out, there'd be enough solar power and enough alternatives ways for us to be okay for a good while.
Yeah, we've got energy to keep Chili's enclosure powered, keep freezers going, ways to cook food, to keep cups of tea, ways to keep ourselves warm,
and cool.
So yeah, we've been trucking through that pretty well, haven't we? This is my habitat for my crested gecko, Chili con carne. So this is one of the first reasons why we decided to get solar. So people who have reptiles will know this, people who don't, a little quick catch up. The top here, I have two sets of lights. I have a UV light and I have a full spectrum light. So the full spectrum light simulates sunlight for the reptile, and the UV is to give it the UV. All reptiles need UV. They don't, makes them very, very ill. Also at the back, I can't probably say because it's turned off because it's still too warm, I have a heat lamp which is required to be on, so has a consistent temperature and a heat spot so you can heat up if you need to. Important. If electric goes out, Chili doesn't get these things. Chili doesn't get these, he gets sick or worse. So our original idea, we've got a power bank. You can plug everything into this power bank, power him up while we've got power outages or whatnot. Power bank exploded. Well, I say exploded, the plug did. The plug that we're using to charge the power bank went poof and exploded. Like, no good. So solar panel and the solar system that we have now, in a worst case scenario, we have power outages or whatnot, I can keep Chili going. And I don't know if you'll be able to see him, he's a little bit visible around side. We'll try, and if not, I'll get my editor to put a picture of him in.
There he is.
But that there is Chili con carne, my crested gecko. So just up here, on top there, we have 4 solar panels. They're currently mounted at a slight angle to catch the sun, and it's over the top of Kirsty's parents' fish pond. So these solar panels that we've got are double-sided, so not only can they catch the sun when it comes over, any light that hits the pond refracts up and we can charge them double at the same time like that. So it's pretty cool actually. So big thanks to them for letting us put it over the pond to take advantage. And yeah, and then follow my finger and sort of see the start of the cables that head towards our charging and recharging stations, which I'm sure Kirsty will show you where they are and give you a little bit of info on them. But yeah, they're 4 over the pond, good amount of sunlight for where they are because of how the sun comes over us, and then you get the light bouncing off the pond as well. So there we go.
Well, this is our solar station. It is made with the same wood that Dean built the unit from in the pantry, but it's not sanded down or anything, we've just kept it rustic. But this is a project I've done with my brother, as his solar journey had also started at the same time as ours. Well, that's what you've been seeing when we've been doing our lives, which is the solar charge controller, and that just comes through. So the solar cables just go through where we've drilled holes next to the window. So we built this to measure with what we want to put in the unit. So in the spring, these are the grow lights with the trays on, so they're just green trays with little grow lights on for seedlings. This one is the hydroponics. That potato there is ready to do a short for Pembrokeshire prepper who's doing a challenge, if anyone's interested. So it's buy a potato from the supermarket, let it chit so it gets its bits on, plant it, and we'll see how many potatoes we can harvest from a shop bought potato. I will link him in the comment below, in the description below. So that's our hydroponics. As you can see, it's just got lettuce and things in where we give the guinea pigs, but that is ran completely off the solar. Also, our dehydrator is, so that got its own shelf made. We tend to only do that on the warmer days. It's never run the battery down, it just uses a little bit more than the other things we use. And if we go down to the bottom shelf, here we've got the power inverters. So we've got 2 of them, one either side, with 2 plugs on and the USB ports. Well, currently all I've got plugged in is one of these with the little USB cables, because I've been charging our mics up before recording. And what we've done, we've kept the shelves just as slats of wood, so we can move them to drop the cables down the back, and so we can get to the battery, which is underneath this panel at the front. So it's just boxed in for safety. And if I lift this, the battery is in there. I'll put a torch or something on. Now there is the battery. It's got plenty of space. It's also got vents. And I'll put an image of what battery that is on the screen now.
Hello again, it's me, popping up all over the place in this video, aren't I? It's like I'm almost part of the channel, who would have guessed it? Anyway, if you are enjoying our solar setup, do please think about leaving a like, a comment, heck, even subscribing if you haven't, and a big thank you to those who have. But I have been having a little look over the analytics, and I did notice that you haven't subscribed. You have. Good play. And over there, yep, I see you waving your hand. Yep, you've subscribed. But why haven't you? Come on. Only takes one little tap. It's easy. Don't even have to keep it if you don't like the content after so long. Just click the unsubscribe. It's not a permanent thing. You've got nothing to lose. Except maybe my beautiful face, Kirsty's calming voice, or maybe even an upcoming video on our pets. Now, do you really want to miss out on that? I don't think you do. So come on, join the crew. And then, for everyone else, thanks for watching. Keep watching, because this is only going to be halfway through the video. And yeah, I'll take it back to Kirsty. Bye, guys. So, babe, What does our solar power run on a daily basis?
It runs the hydroponics, that's on 24/7. The light's on 14 hours a day, but the actual water going round is on 24/7. So that's always plugged in. So is the USB charging station, so that charges our mics, our phones, the
Power
banks, the little USB chargeable lights, the radio that we have outside when we're doing the garden. It charges the laptops. If there was a power cut, we'd prioritise the freezer and Chili's enclosure over the dehydrator and the hydroponics, because they'll be fine for a little bit in just like that if needed, and we can just hang things and dry in the dehydrator if required as well, so we don't need to use that. Initially, when we started using solar power, it was predominantly for emergency preparedness, so keep the crested gecko going in the event of a power cut, be able to charge our power banks and mobile phones and things like that. Following that, we wanted to expand it, so anything we do for the garden, such as starting seedlings with grow lights or the heat mats, or using the hydroponics, or dehydrating some of the crops that we've brought in, we didn't want to rely on the grid to do that. It's just part of our self-sufficient, self-reliance journey.
Well, it probably even expands into preparedness.
Yes, it's still preparedness, and it's as much as we can rely on ourselves over the grid as possible, the better. Future plans for the solar, it's always going to expand and will be as much unreliant on the grid as possible. So the next step would be some sort of bigger power bank. We do have some smaller ones, but currently if the power goes out where the freezer and Chili's enclosure is, we would need to run an extension cable from the solar battery, from the inverter on the solar battery to them, which isn't ideal because it's not recommended to do that from the devices that for anything like that.
Hydro power appliance.
Yes, so some sort of big power bank, maybe with a backup, with an extra battery for it. Sorry, that's my stomach rumbling if you that picked up on the mic. Okay. So something like that would be the next step, I think. And then that just, we could put that in there and still have the solar to run everything else with the backup. Funds don't allow that at all at the moment. That's going to be a future plan. We can manage for quite a while with the solar power we've got, and if needed we could move the freezer into here. We couldn't move Chili's enclosure because that's
too heavy.
It's heavy, it's got all the little stones and everything in. And if it's the summer, the little power banks that we've got would run the little lights that are there. It's mainly the heat lamp that would be the issue. And then my chickens are making funny noises. And then probably after that, with us rebuilding the chicken coop and things and a new greenhouse, maybe some sort of seedling station with the heat mats and stuff with some sort of solar power outside. And then that would free up in here for our appliances.
Right, if we expand the solar setup, is there a way we could power it so we could put a security light on the new chicken enclosure? Mm-hmm. So like motion one, so if like cats or anything come in, scare them off.
Yes, and that's something else that's solar. It's not connected to our big solar system, but we've also got a little solar fan.
Yeah, we have.
That can go for the chicken coop just for airflow.
And I've got a solar fan as well for Chili's enclosure, because if it gets above a certain temperature, he suffers bad, can't do heat. So I've got a little USB fan I put on top, keeps him cool, really handy.
So at the moment, if we had a power cut right now, we wouldn't need to worry too much about Chili's heat lamp, because even though it's colder now, it's been okay.
It's warm enough.
We'd just have to prioritise the lighting. Freezer wise, freezers at full capacity can last a day or so without any power plugged in, but we would prioritise that over the dehydrator. But even if that fails, we've got the camping stove, and our pressure canner can fit on top of it, so any meat and things I could pressure can, and so all that food would be saved that way anyway. Another reason why we have that, as well as making a cuppa and doing some pasta or whatever.
Yeah, it's good to have multiple options in case of multiple failures.
And we've got the USB lighting, we've got the USB chargeable fans, we've got lighting, fans, power banks. Entertainment wise, we charge the laptop off there, and we've got a DVD player that attaches to the laptop, and some classic DVDs like Matilda and things on DVD for entertainment wise. So in the summer, power cut wise, we should be still okay. We haven't tested this out completely in the winter, which is something we're going to do this year, and hope that it does well in the limited daylight, because at the moment it's not dropping too much where the battery goes to its low capacity.
A few days of like really bad rain, it's super cloudy or whatever.
If it's super cold, super cloudy, we're a bit worried about how it will last. The freezer won't be as much of a problem then because of the colder weather, but that is something that we're going to look at this winter, especially we're rumoured to get a bad winter with the Super El Nino, so that will be a really good test.
It all boils down to a good famous saying. I don't know who said it, so I apologise, but it's failure to prepare equals being prepared to fail.
Yes.
So. And
also testing it as well. We don't want to add anything else on until this has been tested completely. So we are considering doing 2 days without power, aren't we?
Yeah, 48-hour challenge.
Yes, and see how well we cope. So if you'd like to see that, please let us know, and we'll be doing it anyway, whether we record it or not. But we want to really put this solar system to capacity and see if it is as good as we think it is in our head for what we need.
Well, it's also a bit to test ourselves as well.
Yes, test our resilience and things. We've got 3 teenagers.
You can theoretically plan how you think it's going to go, but until you put yourself in that situation, you don't know. So that's why we'll do a 48-hour just call, and it gives us a taste of what to expect, so we can tweak anything that needs tweaking, and any unexpected problems we can find a solution to. And when we know it's not sort of an immediate thing because it's in a test environment, so it's a better thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, so please let us know if you'd like to see that. We will give the results of it, whether we do record it for you or not, but it is something that we think is important. So just having it isn't good enough for us. We need to know it works, and we need to know that in the event of a situation, whether it's something as simple as a power cut or something as simple as we've got no money for electric. It could be something as simple as that. If the banks go down and we can't pay for electric, it can be something so simple like that will make us rely heavily on this system.
Or them energy, was it the power cut rollout thing where they were on about?
Yeah, power cut rollout. There's so many situations where backup power is required. What I'll do as well, I will put a clip here on the app that I'm using. To be honest, I don't use it. I know this runs fine. I check it once in a blue moon just to make sure that the battery hasn't drained or anything, and I'll just put some footage on that here now so you can see. It also says how much that we've saved when compared to using the grid, which isn't that much at the moment. It's going to take a while to get money back on it, but that's not really the reason we did it, is it? It's for preparedness purposes why we did this system, rather than to save us money because the outlay is quite high. And again, we've been able to afford this because we're not paying for a car or things like that, or we're not spending that money on takeaways. We're really scrimping and saving to be able to afford what we're doing here.
Well, just going to throw a quick disclaimer in here, guys. If you are looking at doing your own solar, please do your own research. Look into the laws, the safety aspects and everything that goes into doing it. I don't want you going out and getting yourselves hurt. So please do your research, find out what safety things you need to follow, what laws you need to follow wherever you live, and be safe. Don't be like see and just try and do. Please look into it yourself.
Yeah.
Very important. Electricity is not to be messed with. I've got electrical qualifications, and you don't mess with electricity. It doesn't let you play twice. So please be safe, do your own research.
There's plenty of videos out there. We haven't recorded setting up this because we're nowhere near experts, and there's so many videos already on how-to videos from people that do it for jobs and things. But this is what works for us. This might not work for you. This fits to what we need for our budget and
our requirements
at the moment. Yeah.
Like I said, different countries and different places have their own sort of safety laws, and then also laws regarding using solar as well. So like, look into it, guys. Really, like, don't just see us going, "Oh, I'm going," please.
But don't let this put you off. There is simple setups where it's mostly done for you, or even starting at something like the radio, like we did, or where you open out power bank so you can charge things in the sun like your phone. There's really simple, cheap versions out there that you can expand from. Do we all have to start somewhere?
Start a ready-to-use kits and things, and then basic stuff. But then there's also, like I said, there's a lot of YouTubers out there with extensive knowledge of this sort of thing.
I will link the things we've got below. Then we're not sponsored at all. No. This is just what works for us. You might find a better deal. So when I've been looking, the setup we got, so this and the solar and the cables didn't come with the battery, and that one's not available at the moment. So I'll link the one that comes with the battery, and so it's a complete setup. I'll also put the battery that we've got as well, because we did buy it separately, so you can have a look. But like I said, it's cost a few hundred. I think the prices have gone up, but they're always on offer. So what we do when we want something, we stick it in our basket on eBay and wait for them to send an offer. So the battery was about £240, but that has got a 10-year guarantee on it. And the solar was 200 and something, but that was 480 watts of solar panels, the cables and the charge controller. And then I'm not sure how much we paid for the inverters at the bottom, but I will put it on the screen.
We'll figure out the price.
Yeah, so it was probably around £600 all in. Less than 600.
Big investment, but
it was a huge investment, because our first solar one was less than £100. And what that was a scooter battery, a 100-watt panel, and the little charge controller that came with it. So that was when we did the initial hydroponics unit. That I mentioned it briefly in that, and that's the one we're going to put at the plot on the tea shed. So we will show you that one when that's all set up in a future video.
I hope you enjoyed seeing our solar setup, and hopefully that's inspired you to maybe start your own as well. And I think that's the end of the video. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.
Bye.